We on live. We on live now.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, señoras y señores, bienvenidos una vez más. Welcome one more time to the what could you say? Another little podcast here. I'm having here today a little segment with my boy Tuckmaster DXG. We just decided to do this on the air, a spur of the moment type thing, to talk a little bit about E3 predictions, thoughts, and what we think and what we would like to see coming from E3 this year, since it's only about 2 months away, and so much rambling and news about new consoles and possible, upgraded consoles, VR, and what have you. So I hope you enjoyed this little segment. And I hope you can share your thoughts in the comments down below. Be as polite as possible. Remember, we are a respectable group. We are not here to troll, be funny. We're just trying to do the best that we can and talk about gaming, the way it should be. So, Tuckmaster, how are you today? Please.
I am doing A-okay, man. I'm just here to talk about you. Let's roll.
You go say that again. You just hear what?
I'm just here to talk about games, and the Xbox One is the best part, and that's it.
Oh yeah, well, it is what it is. If that's what you love, and the Xbox is the best box. It's definitely giving you the best bang for your buck at this point.
Yes, it is.
I would say so myself. So talk. E3's around the corner, as you know. A lot of things going on. What do you think? What are your predictions and your thoughts and your feelings about this upcoming E3? What are you most excited about? What do you think about PlayStation, VR, and possible of a upgradable console that they're doing, and even Microsoft possibly having a new upgradable console, or perhaps a Slim, or maybe, and the fact that NX, the Nintendo codename NX, is now confirmed by Nintendo themselves that will be coming out in March of 2017 and will not be shown at E3 this year. So, what are your thoughts on that? What do you think? One category at a time, I guess, but let me know what you think.
Well, I'm going to say right now, but this will about E3. Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a real experience here. I just want to see what Microsoft is really going to do. Or they're going to go ahead and do they need to come out and show everybody that the Xbox is one to go to this year. I'm just kind of excited.
Hey Tuck. Sorry to interrupt you. I think you need to plug in and plug out your mic. You sound echoey right now. You sound like a little distorted and echoey, and I want people to understand what you're saying. So try that out real quick and come back in.
Okay.
Thank you. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. Please bear with us. Tuckmaster's having some difficulties with his mic.
Yeah, let me turn my volume down.
You're muted right now. You need to, I think, unplug it and plug it back in, or get out of the chat and come back in. Either way.
How did you get out and come back in, though?
Yeah, you could. You hang up and then come back in. You should be able to anyway. So yeah, there's a lot of ramblings, a lot of thoughts out there about what's going on with all the companies. E3 is a very exciting. It's a time for, well, it's kind of like the Super Bowl for us gamers. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Tuck.
Okay, can you hear me better?
Oh, that's much better. Yes. Okay. Go ahead. So go ahead. I was just trying to say to the audience, that E3 is a very exciting time for all gamers. Especially, it's almost like the Super Bowl of gaming for us.
You got that right.
Yeah. So it's really exciting, and there's always a lot of ramblings right before, a lot of speculations, a lot of rumors, a lot of leaks. Most of the time, for the most part, about 75% of the time, they usually come out to be true. So that's what makes it exciting. So all the speculation. So Tuck, just to go back on what you were saying, what are your thoughts on what I asked you before about E3 and all the companies, and please elaborate one by one, and then ask me the question back, and I'll give you my thoughts.
Okay, you know what, but you know what? I'm gonna give you my thoughts about the whole doggone thing with the E3. Okay, I
All
am
right.
really excited about this year's E3. I get excited around this time of the year any doggone day, especially
Mm-hmm.
when it comes around E3 time, because I really do I just hold and just embrace the moment of E3.
Right.
All video gamers love E3, and that's it. But what I'm really interested to see what Microsoft really going to bring to the table, as far as like what are they going to do with this call that PS4 is making with the Neo and all that stuff. That's what I'm really interested in. I want to see how they're going to counteract with that, and I'm just ready for it to really roll on. I think Nintendo, what I'm hearing about Nintendo is like, okay, they're gonna bring this machine out next year, but they're not gonna really bring that much to the play to E3 again this year at all. So, I don't know if they're even gonna show off the thing. I hope they show the thing off so people can really see what they're getting next year.
Well,
Um,
for what they confirmed so far, and I don't mean to interrupt you, what they confirmed so far, at all, they're going to show it at a later date uh, in this year. I have my thoughts. I'll tell I'm talking, but yeah, they're not going to show it at E3, so they already confirmed that. So that's for sure. But go ahead.
well, what I want to know, what I'm interested in to see what is Sony. I mean, does this thing with the new PS4 supposed to come out? Do they
Mm-hmm.
supposed to show it this year, or because we haven't seen nobody say anything about it, them showing or anything this year?
Well, I mean, if I had to take a guess, I'm pretty sure, about 95% sure, that they will show it at this year's E3. If it is, in fact, a legitimate thing. Because, see, based on what the leaked documents show, it has a significant upgrade. Um, it's supposed to be something that they treat kind of like they do the PC market with their games, where they make the one game compatible based off the specs of the PS4, the regular version, which what we would call the vanilla version, and then the PS4 4.5, which would be what they're code naming now the PlayStation Neo. Um, Honestly, I feel and I truly believe that the main reason for this, um, the main reason for this, of them, bringing out another console. Excuse me, I'm losing my train of thought. Is basically because they want to make sure that they have enough specs uh, in the actual hardware to be capable to run all the upcoming and future PlayStation VR titles. Because VR they invested heavily in it. Everybody knows it's no secret, but it's also no secret that ramblings and the word on the industry is that their version of VR is the weakest of all the versions that's supposed to come about within this year and the beginning of next year. So, um, to be honest with you, I really feel that's the main reason and the main focus in which why uh, they are decided to bring out a upgraded version of the console. Now, for what I understand, they said that from this point forward, when it releases, whether it's this year or beginning of next year, um, they're going to be able to. All the games are going to have what they call a Neo mode, which would give them the capabilities to have better graphics as far as the fidelity, textures, shaders, lighting, particle effects, tessellation, whatever you want to call it, which is a good thing. And also 60 frames perhaps locked on most games, and maybe perhaps 1080p native. on most games, and perhaps even a upscale to 4K. Now, um, again, this is all speculation. We don't know. This may not even be exactly what's inside the box. But the part is that makes it difficult, or makes it a difficult sale, is most people that already bought a PS4, besides the hardcore gamers, may not want to pay an additional $500, even with a trade-in value of trading in their old PlayStation 4, just to get a minimal upgrade. Again, especially if the concentration is mainly focused on the VR games. But that's my take on it. I believe that this is the reason why they're bringing it out. And if I had to guess, their main focus is for VR. I mean, I don't know how you feel, but you let me know.
Well, the way I feel about the VR thing is this. Okay, like I told everybody before in a video and talking on Xbox Live, VR didn't work back in the 80s, and it didn't work in the 90s, and it's not going to work now. Because
Mm.
the reason why I'm saying that, because if God meant for something to be on your face like that, He would have made it on your face like that. I see people having major problems with this thing as far as like their vision. I do believe that people are gonna start getting headaches. And I think
Well,
it's just gonna
not
be a one time wonder.
just to give you a little tidbit. I believe that's part of the reason why they brought up the specs on the hardware itself, because it's to make sure that both eyes, I believe, have to run at a consistent 60 frames on each side, for that, to avoid motion sicknesses, headaches, dizziness, and whatever have you. But go ahead, continue.
Okay, so in other words, what you trying to say is that the old PS4 that's out already is it really ain't gonna be able to turn around and allow for you to turn around and really enjoy the VR on those systems.
No, I'm not saying that, because I believe the actual unit brings some type of like power supply that gives it more power to be able to run on the regular PS4. But I believe that's perhaps this may be with the new PS4 Neo. They're doing it basically as a safe haven to make sure that if anything does go wrong, they can just rely on that console to run it correctly, and they can bring it out and make a press about it. Oh, look, if you're having problems with the VR with the regular PlayStation 4, then we have the PS4 Neo, which is a lot more capable, hardware wise, to run the game. So you can upgrade to the Neo, and maybe try to avoid anybody from suing them, perhaps, or trying to sue them if they do get really sick. You know what I'm saying? So it's basically them covering their behinds, so to speak, their asses. I believe that's why they're investing in doing another one, because what they're doing, same like Nintendo, uh, has never really been done before. You never had any type of generation where you have games and a console where they pretty much decide, well, you know what, we're going to upgrade midway through the cycle of games, of the generation, of the console generation. You know, I understand that for a lot of people, oh, the consoles, oh yeah, they're underpowered or this and that. But to be honest with you, the consoles are underpowered if you're going to base them off PC. Yes, if you compare them next to a PC, yes, they're underpowered. But
Right.
if you're going to compare them as console to console, I don't believe they're underpowered at all. I just feel that they you know they need more time, because like any other hardware and console generation, the more and the longer they develop for those consoles, the more they learn how to optimize and use the hardware inside the static box, and you get better and better performance. For example, when you look at Halo 3 and Gears of War 1 on the Xbox 360, and then you look at Gears of War Judgment and Halo 4, graphically, it was a big leap. It was a big difference. Halo 4, when it was brought over to Xbox One in the master, and in the remastered, with the remastered touches, it actually looked like it was an Xbox One launch title,
Yeah,
because it
that's
looked so
true.
good. So
That's
because it
true.
looked so good, you understand? So
Oh
so
yeah.
for me, I just feel that For me, I just feel that they're getting too ambitious too fast with all the developers. I mean, are getting too ambitious too fast, trying to make the games too big, trying to make the games have too much detail, plus story or whatever else they want to add extra as multiplayer and all that stuff. And that's kind of like what's hurting them. That's why they're having a lot of difficulties, obviously, with
Well, you know what? My
locked
whole eyes
frame
on this
rate.
thing is like this, okay? And this what comes with developers and all that stuff. This what to me is hurting the industry. The developers talk about, that the Xbox One, can't do this or can't do that. Okay, that's even included with the media and all that stuff. See, and the only thing about it is, see, why is it the Xbox system is the only system as far as consoles concerned right now? They're the only one that got games that can push 1080p, 80 frames per second.
You mean
You know,
60? Mm.
uh-huh.
No, you said 80, but 60.
I mean
Yeah.
60 frames per second.
No problem. No problem. Go ahead.
And I got a problem with that because I think, when Microsoft gives these developers the development kits and everything, and they trying to make it easier on them and all that stuff, and they still talk about the ESRAM and all that stuff, I'm thinking that's a lot of baloney. Okay.
Well, the ESRAM is something because there's a lot of developers like Bethesda and others that have said and come out, like the developers from Diablo, the guys who did Wolfenstein, have come out and said that the console is pretty fairly easy to develop for. The Xbox One, since it's designed a little different than the PS4, obviously, you have to do a little more. You have to do a little bit more work to development to get it to run, I guess, smoother with a smoother frame rate at a better, resolution. And the ESRAM is something that's fairly new still, and a lot of people that probably are not used to tackling development and developers tackling development using the ESRAM, since they're not really used to it or familiar with it, I believe it's giving them a hard time. And then now I do know the reason why a lot of the Xbox exclusives come out at a sturdier frame rate or at 60 frames, 1080p, like a Forza or even a Halo and Gears or whatever, or what have you, is basically because it's their hardware. They know how to develop for it. It's kind of like what happened with the PlayStation 3 versus the 360, Sega Saturn versus the PlayStation 1. Just to give you an example, if the hardware is a little easier to develop for, then that obviously the games will come out better. If the hardware is a little bit more difficult and complex, they're gonna have a little bit more problems, obviously, to get it up to snuff. Now, Microsoft could probably set in developers to help them, the other developers, get it to where they want it, but that's probably a lot of money involved. So that because I know they did it with the guys from Diablo, and I believe the guys that did PES soccer at Kojima, at Konami,
right,
his company. But again, like I said, you got to understand that the PlayStation 4 is the leading platform. So since it's the leading platform, developers are going to be to look at it this way. Well, the Xbox One has upscalers, it upscales anyway, so we don't really have to worry about the resolution. Let's worry about the frames. That's it.
right.
But our main focus has to be in the PlayStation version because that's the leading platform, which is still kind of horseshit if you really think about it. Because at the end of the day, every month by month, even with the platform multi-plats, you see that the Xbox One gamers are usually the ones who buy those games the most and still sell the most, even though they've had deals with Battlefront, Call of Duty. I believe Call of Duty still sells better and is number one right now
Right.
on the Xbox One, which is crazy, but it is. It is what it is. Now, plus the Xbox community are a lot more invested and very heavy on buying games digitally. Way more than I see in the PlayStation side. Maybe it's perhaps because they're not comfortable because of the security network issues that a lot of people have had, getting their cards stolen and things being without their permission, which is understandable. I mean,
Yeah, that's
we haven't really seen
understandable.
it.
Yeah,
We haven't
you
really
said that
seen any
right.
cases on the. We haven't really seen many cases on the Xbox side of that. Uh,
Right.
but yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. We have to sort of generation to see who gets the lead. But as far as right now, maybe if in time Xbox will get to come close, because I believe like a lot of gamers say out there and YouTubers, that before the generation's fully ended, most people will own both consoles. Because there's always some type of game you'll find that you like or have interest on both sides. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, that's my take on Sony and what and you know, and I believe that's your take on what you're saying. Unless you want to add anything else.
Well, I'm going to add something else to that. I mean, this is what disturbs me about the media, about some of these ponies, as we call them. They
Right,
always want to downgrade the Xbox and all that stuff. But like I said, we still the only system. We still the only system that is out there that got both 1080p, 60 frames per second. And Digital Foundry and all that stuff. They do their little digital testing and all that stuff. And it's like, okay,
mm-hmm.
when The Witcher 3 came out last year, and this is what I got to go against Digital Foundry and the media. The Witcher 3 came out last year. It had all kind of frame rate issues on the PS4. Okay?
It was more stable on the
It
Xbox
was more
One.
stable on the Xbox One.
Right.
But the thing about it is, they still gave the PS4 the win because of it being so damn biased. I'm tired of the biasness. Because the Xbox One is a damn good system. Ain't no doubt about that. I mean, we can do more on the system. That's the reason why I always tell people, my son, he had a PS4, and he sold his PS4. And the reason why he sold it because once he realized what I was talking about, you know, he said like the Xbox do got more power. It got more power overall, just not graphic power.
Well, the thing is that the Xbox has a lot more flexibility in the hardware.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right, like that's why I believe the cloud computing will come to fruition this E3 with games like Crackdown 3. It's still all very, very new and primitive. So obviously, there's been a lot of talk about it for the last 2 years, but now is when you're finally going to be able to see it in motion, like the X12 with Quantum Break. All the backlash to try to give Quantum Break.
Right.
And basically, what I tell everybody is this. Listen, every software and every engine that comes out in every generation, when it first comes out, like to give you an example, like Unreal Engine 3 came out, when Gears came out, it's always it's a learning curve. They always have issues. You see a lot of problems and bugs and pop-ups and problems with the textures, the textures popping in and things of that nature. They have to learn it. Once they learn to optimize them better and better, as the years go by, you'll really see the potential of, like, let's say DirectX 12 and the new engine that they used for Quantum Break, that they created for Quantum Break. It's just going to get better, So, I mean, I know if it gets frustrating for a lot of people, and a lot of people will call bullshit and be like, oh, yeah, that's bull crap. Get the hell out of here. Or you're just damage controlling your fucking X-Twat or whatever the case may be. But the truth of the matter, you got to look at it and it's sensible as an adult, being, thinking long-term as a gamer, especially in my case, in your case, we've been gaming for a very long time. We've seen games come in and go, consoles come and go. So we know that in every generation, every console, there's always games that act problematic, slowdowns, things of that nature, when there's a lot of NPCs or whatever the case may be. It's just it's something that takes place with time and practice. So I'm pretty sure, being that Quantum Break is the official full DirectX 12 game that just came out, this time, maybe next year, maybe Gears of War 4 perhaps, maybe next year with Scalebound, those games, if they're using DirectX 12 from starting from scratch, I think they're going to really start to show the real potential of the software and the graphic engines that they choose to use. Because Unreal Engine 4 looks like it's going to be phenomenal. I'm pretty sick, if you ask me. So it is what it is,
Okay, now I want to ask you a question, Craig. I want to ask you a quick question. What is your speculation about what Microsoft is going to do at E3 to turn around and just blow everybody's mind? I mean, I've been hearing so much stuff about them letting the paywall down for live and all that stuff. Do you think they're going to really do that, or do you think they're going to go somewhere else and do something else that's going to blow people's mind about? Because they're saying that this is going to be better than backwards compatibility.
Right, right. Well, here's my take. And I don't want to seem like I'm hogging up the cast because I want to give you
No, no,
time to
no, no,
talk.
no, 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 no,
Please
no.
forgive me. Um, Microsoft is in a position where it's very delicate. Because see, they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. If they
True,
don't do something, then people will scrutinize them
true.
for this, and if they do something, then people will be like, it's not going to make a difference because we have a better option on the other side of the fence with the PlayStation 4, because that's the perception, right? People
Right,
think generally, PlayStation 4 is better because it has more power, even though when you look at their shelves, games in GameStop, Target, Walmart, they don't have any games. And then
right,
the games that you do see are little games that belong only in the arcade marketplace or the PSN network marketplace.
right.
Like Tiny Troopers, like Super Meat Boys, things of that nature. The point is, my take with Microsoft is this. This is what I think they should do. They should make a slim, okay, a slim model that perhaps maybe has a better, faster Wi-Fi, maybe more hard drive space in it, like 3 gigs instead of 500 gigs. I mean, 3 terabytes instead of like 500 gigs, and perhaps maybe some updated USB ports, that are like 2.0 or whatever, so that they can add anything extended if they want later on, for more power or whatever the case may be. But keep it under like at least 250, maybe. To be honest with you, $99. I know that it sounds bad, but I think as long as they can get those consoles in people's how many games they're already available and that are coming, that it's actually a genuinely a very good console and that it has good software, that they will do better than what they're doing now. Because the problem is the console is too close in price to the PS4. And since people are generally thinking, oh, because even the salespersons when you go in GameStop, when you go in Target, that's the first thing they do every time. Oh, well, you want, I feel people asking, I don't know what to get. I would like to get an Xbox or PS4. And you say, oh, get a PS4 because it's more powerful. They don't say get a PS4 because it has more games. Get a PS4 because it has better online. Get a PS4 because it offers more features for your money, or bang for your buck.
Yeah,
No, they usually just say it has more power
power.
or it has more games, but they don't explain that those games are smaller independent titles that people really don't care about, or the majority of people don't. It's very niche titles, or they're older PS2, PS3, or even PS Vita repurposed games with using graphic engines that were actually originally designed for the PS Vita, but then built up again to use some of the capabilities of the PlayStation 4 console. You know, and that's the problem. So if they put it at 199, the console would sell itself. Now, as far as them making an announcement of Xbox Live, okay, what they could do is say, okay, well, you can play Xbox Live free with all our games, okay? But a lot of people are going to be like, well, wait a second. But why would I keep gold? Even if they just offer, if you get a certain tier of gold, you'll get the discounts, you'll get the full-blown 16-man party chat, leave give you multiplayer with like up to 5 people on party chat, right?
Right,
If you want the 16 one, then you have to pay for gold. If you want the discounts on the movies, on everything on the marketplace, then you have to get gold, and price it differently. But then people are gonna be like, well, wait a second, I don't give a crap about the games. Maybe I don't care about the games because um, they're really not that good. So what they should do is they should do what they did with the 360 games, because now they have backwards compat. So if you have that game and own it, you can automatically play it. But what they should do is the Xbox One games that you're getting, you can also keep like you do the 360 games. Because then
right.
this will give people a more incentive. Because if they do it the way they've been doing it this time with the Xbox One games, it's more like a sophisticated rental service.
Right.
Basically, you pay for it. As long as you have gold, you have access to those games. But once the gold expires, you can't access them. That is why I'm saying that if they say to the customers, well, we'll give you free this, but if you buy gold, both games from the 360 and the Xbox One, okay, you can get free, like absolutely free for you. In other words, you keep it on your account for life, whether you have gold or silver, you have full access to them. They can do that. Or the second thing they could do is do some type of game sharing with family, make a family package with game sharing, which I think will be very enticing, especially for people like me that have a big family. I have 8 kids. We're a big family, and most of my kids are all gamers. They love gaming, even my daughters. So we can share a certain amount of stuff because we can't go out and buy, let's say, 10 copies or 5 copies of the same game. Not
Right.
because we don't want to, but because we just can't afford it. We're being realistic here.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, and it's just like you said, people just really cannot afford, and I think that'd be a very good, interesting concept if Microsoft does that.
I
But
mean,
my
think
whole
about it.
insight on the live thing, I mean,
Mhm.
if they do it, eventually, like you said, they damned if they do, they damned if they don't, because
Right, right.
people gonna always, argue about something that Xbox is doing, and that's it. But I mean, but you read about all of that stuff. I mean, but I'm really interested in seeing what Microsoft is going to do about. I want to know what their big announcement is because
Right.
I mean,
You and me
and I'm
both.
and I'm hoping, and this is what I'm hoping, and I'm hoping that they bring some kind of hookup where we can hook the Xbox One up to make it more powerful. That'd be an interesting thing, but I know how Phil Smith would feel about that.
Here's the thing. I believe that if they possibly are that's why I said if they make a slim with 2.0 USB ports, right? Or you can add an extension uh, or make the console kind of modular, a modular console kind of
Right.
that you can add an extension and people have the option that they can, instead of buying the whole console, let's say for I don't know, for 400, like they're saying the rumors is for the new PS Neo, you can bring in your original existing Xbox One for the new slim model, get $200 towards it. You pay $100 only for the new one, right? For example, because it's all about the trade. If they do a very good trade-in value, let's say with GameStop, I think this would make it even more enticing. It's unrealistic because it doesn't always happen, but if they do, it would be enticing to the consumer. You get $100 towards it. You'll just pay $100 towards the new console, and then maybe you can buy an extension with more processing power in an adapter or something of that nature for about another $130 separately, which will come out to like $230 instead of $400, which makes it a little more enticing. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I could say the same for the PlayStation owners that they trade in their PlayStation to get $200. It's hard to say. It's hard to say, but it's hard to say because you can't make everybody happy. Like I said, no matter what you do, no matter what you do, you damn you do. They're damn if they do. They're damn if they don't. But you think about it this way, Tuck. Think about it this way: $199 price tag, slim model, a little couple of minimal upgrades like faster Wi-Fi, better, more hard drive space, better USB ports for upgradable in the features in the future. Concentrate heavy on the games from this point forward.
Yeah,
Games,
I agree.
like they've been doing, right?
Right.
You keep using the cloud, keep using DirectX 12, learn how to utilize it, make it better for each game you make. Help the developers inside and outside, third party. Make free Xbox Live with minimal stuff like free Xbox Live for all the games with 5-man party limit. Then give the
Right.
gold tier where you keep the game and you keep the Xbox One games they give you on a monthly basis. Make it $40, $50 a month, a year, I mean. And people like that sounds good. Okay, the PS4 has more power with this new console, but what are the games they're gonna have? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because even if they show a new God of War, which I love God of War, by the way, I love the franchise.
Yeah, I love it too, but it won't be out
It,
there next year.
realistically, right. Realistically speaking, if they've been working on it for the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, it won't be out until maybe Christmas next year. You see what I'm saying? Which
Right, right. So
like
they give
this time,
so like you said, they give
this time.
Microsoft enough room to turn around and do what they want to do as far as like building another console in time to just counteract whatever
Oh,
the PS4 is doing right now.
Microsoft can write it out for another year, and then next year in E3 they can show the new console they're working on. You see what I'm saying? And bring it
Right,
out in 2018. Bring it out
right.
2018. The Xbox One had a 5-year cycle, a 5.5-year cycle, and they can get the jump start before everybody else. Because Sony's not going to make a brand new upgraded console to then in 3 more years make a new one. I really doubt that because
I
they need.
got
Plus,
to.
they're invested in VR as well. I mean, they got their hands in too many pots, and they're spending way too much money when they're a company that's not really making a lot of profits back in. I mean, they just reported that they made $1.3 billion in for just today, but $1.3 billion for a company that has so many their hands in so many different pots, it's almost like they're just using that money to keep the lights on because they liquidated all their companies and all their buildings. They only have one building in Los Angeles now, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So if this doesn't work out for them, this could actually hurt them. And they might not even exist. They might have to become a company that only makes either a streaming service or just games, like Sega had to go in the route of Sega. You just
Right,
never know.
right, right.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, you're right about all of that. My whole thing about, but like I said, like I said earlier, I mean, I think Sony got their hands in too much of the pot here. They got this VR thing, and then they got this new PS Neo thing, whatever's coming out. And you talk about a person got to spend $399 for a brand new console, and then they're going to spend close to $499 for the VR headset. And I don't see that many ma and pa's doing that for their kids. I mean, they're not going to buy both. But I guarantee you, this is what I guarantee you: when people buy that VR, some of these other people that's out in these stores are not going to tell them what all they need for that thing to work operational. Because you got morons out there. You got people that just out there thinking. I mean, I'm hoping that they tell the people what they need. Instead of
the VR. The PlayStation VR. My problem is a problem that a lot of people may have with it is, one, it's a single player experience. Yeah, you could play online.
Thank you.
With other people, but that's if the other people that are willing to pay the $500 to get the unit. But the problem is the game, the unit, the headset doesn't have any real appealing software. The games, they just don't look appealing. You know what I'm saying? They all look like they're on rails, which is funny because people made fun of a lot of Sega games because they used to be on rails, like House of the Dead and Confidential Mission and things like Time Crisis from Namco. They used to make fun of, I don't like those games because they're on rails. When the Until Dawn game that they showed looks like it's on rails. It looks exactly like House of the Dead, but instead of being a regular game, it's VR. So that's the biggest problem. Like most people, the hardcore, the Sony fans, the hardcore, they're gonna be like, yeah, we buy this because they figure we buy it, we support them, they're gonna stay afloat, they go nowhere, they're gonna be good. This is gonna keep the doors open. Not even caring if there's any games worth buying, because that's just how blinded they are by the whole brand of Sony.
Right.
Okay? Because if this was on Microsoft's side, I don't give two rats ass. I don't care about HoloLens. I don't even care about any VR. HoloLens I think is awesome and looks amazing, but I think that's more for like businesses, NASA, schools for doctors. I think that's the right thing for them to do.
I agree.
Or engineering, but I don't see it being a viable product, even if they make a gaming version of it for gamers. Because right now the biggest thing is playing multiplayer online, whether it's competitively or whether it is playing through co-op story together. That's one of the biggest things in gaming right now. So you're gonna tell me you're gonna go back to couch single player experiences by yourself um, for the most part, because when everybody touts and praises being online and talking to people on chats and having this grand social experience, that's why I said it's very trivial and sounds it's a lot of hypocrisy if you ask me. It's convenient now because it's a Sony product coming out and making these moves. So now this is going to be the next big thing. Let's see how it is, because Sony is the best. You see what I'm saying?
Now,
But when Microsoft talked about it, it was like, ew, that's not going to work. See, HoloLens will be cool if, let's say, you're playing something like Halo, right? And you see a hologram of Cortana right next to you, giving you instructions while you're playing the game. You see what I'm saying?
that'd be sweet right there, man.
That would be something pretty nice. Or
Oh
even
yeah,
let's say me and you are playing, right? And I can see a holographic image of you, like if you're sitting next to me on my couch while we're playing online. You see what I'm saying?
that'd be funky right there.
That would be something cool, and
Yeah.
but other than that, I don't see how it can benefit gaming in any way, shape, or form. I mean, I know we have to try to evolve, but I just don't think VR is the way, because it makes us too enclosed to ourselves with the experience. Uh, you
Well,
know,
well, like I
so
said, Ebot,
yeah, go
well,
ahead,
like I
Tom.
said, Ebot, back in the '80s it didn't work. Back in the '90s
Mhm.
it didn't work. So that's my insight on the VR thing and all that stuff.
Well, I mean, you're right, 100%. But to be fair, at least this time around, well, not even. I can't say that because I believe the games for VR, specifically for VR, also, you can't
Yeah, I
even use
do
them.
too.
You can't
Yeah, I
even
do
play.
too.
You can't even play them on the PS4 without the VR, effect. So yeah, it's the same thing. Let me ask you a quick question. To segue to the next topic. Um, what about Nintendo? I mean, I don't know if you're a big Nintendo fan. I've always been a Nintendo. I have like a kind of a love hate relationship with them because I like a lot of their stuff, but I don't feel that they give enough of the games that their fans really love enough to their fan base. Like, I just feel like they take their time, they do things whenever they feel like it. They're like, whatever, we don't care. You wait for us or you don't. And that's kind of like the way they've always done.
Right.
Excuse me, that's the way they've always done business. But now that they're not at E3, what do you think? How do you feel this is going to affect them or hurt them? Could it be
Okay.
that they did it because they heard about the PS4, or maybe that's another thing that I was going to bring up before, is that I feel that the other reason why Sony perhaps decided to make this upgradable console is to keep competing, since now the Nintendo's bringing the NX, which is supposed to be superior to the hardware of Xbox and PlayStation, obviously.
Okay.
So
My whole thing about Nintendo is this. Okay. Nintendo got a big fan base. They got a big fan base either way it goes. So the fan base is gonna follow them no matter what.
well, they got a
Now,
loyal fan base. I don't know if it's as big as it used to be, but they
well, that's
definitely got
true
a
too.
loyal fan base.
That's true too. But the thing about it is, I think with them not doing anything at E3 this year, that's gonna hurt them. And I think the reason why, because I'm gonna tell you the truth. I mean, they talking about this thing last year, but they're not gonna release it till early part of next year. I mean, it's about a March launch.
Right.
I
Now, I
mean,
don't know. I don't know if even Zelda's launching this year for the Wii U. I
well, that's
believe
what
it
I mean.
is. I
I
believe
heard
it
that it
is.
is. I mean, I heard that it is working. I mean, I heard that they're gonna show that at the
Yeah.
E3. But the thing about it is, I mean, what are they doing? I mean, they're gonna be wasting a lot of money. I mean, just to do a little platform on one game. I mean, are they gonna have a conference this year? Are they gonna have a conference?
I feel they're gonna have another thing like they do all the last 2 years, a Nintendo Direct, which is basically online. Which, to be honest with you, they're fun. They're nice. And I'm not saying they aren't. But see, when you do something like an announcement of a new console, that's a big deal. That's something
Right.
that you need to do in the biggest show on earth, which basically is the Super Bowl of gaming, which would be E3. Now, here's the thing. Maybe what they're doing is smart because Nintendo, as you know, the Wii U, they have gained a lot of market shares in the in society in Japan with the Nintendo handheld and with the
Right.
Wii U. You know,
Right. Right.
both of them have sold better than any other console to date over there in Japan.
Right.
Maybe, see, my take, what I believe is maybe what they're doing is they've figured, well, why don't we show off the new Nintendo in Tokyo Game Show, okay, in the Japanese market, right? Because
Right.
if they show it off there, because the rumors are is that the console's supposed to be a hybrid where it's actually going to be a portable with the console, which was done before in the past, but it was done in a different way in the sense that it was sold separately with the TurboGrafx CD back with the Genesis. They sold the TurboGrafx Express, which was the handheld game, and then the TurboGrafx console was for your home, which was 250, I believe, for the TurboGrafx and $300 for the portable. But it used the same exact game cartridges, which were actual microchip card games, and you just swapped it in and took it with you. With the NX, I believe it's supposed to be that the controller is the handheld and the console connects with the controller and you can view it on your TV at home. So if this is the case, I feel that maybe they want to show it at Tokyo Game Show because it's going to appeal more to the Japanese market because not only is a console that Nintendo's making, but it's a console that has the capabilities of having a portable on the fly. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if it's a portable that could actually download apps like an Android phone or like a iPhone, forget it. They could probably make a killing because now you could also download those, little $1 phones, depending on the apps that you can download, if it's capable of doing that. Again, all speculation. This is not what Nintendo has officially confirmed. This is based
Right.
on the rumors and the leaks of what the console is supposed to be like. But I believe that's what they're doing, and I don't think they're dumb for it because I don't think Sony has the same presence it used to have. And now with this VR bull crap and the Neo, I think the Japanese market's going to get pissed off at them because they're separating their audience. And Microsoft is a dead horse right before they arrive. They haven't even gave Microsoft a chance. They never
Yeah.
have. It's been this. That's just the way it is. Because
Yeah.
Japanese people, that's something I've always criticized. We've always, as gamers, since the beginning and the inception of gaming here, from Nintendo NES, have always supported their consoles and believed in their product and supported their games in the Japanese market.
Right.
But they don't return the love to Americans. And with Xbox, they just don't. They sit there and criticize us and just and that's it. So do I believe there's a bias with them? Yeah, that's why I believe a lot of those Japanese niche titles that PlayStation 4 has that everybody touts about, that they give it more variations. That's why I believe they haven't come to Xbox because they haven't bothered to even probably ask Phil Spencer this himself. Listen, we want to bring this to your console. Let's make it happen because I believe that's the way it works. They have to approach him and let him know, or Phil approaches them, and if Phil even approaches them and they say no anyway, it's a dead horse. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I believe that's what they're doing, Nintendo, and I believe it's a smart move. It'll help them with sales. That's what they're going for. I could be wrong, again, like I said, but that's what I believe.
Okay. Well, let me ask you another question. Okay. What do you think Sony is going to bring to the table more than VR and this Sony Neo that they call it? Or you think they're going to talk about games, or you think they are, or is that all they're going to talk about is the virtual reality, or do you think they're going to talk about some games or anything like that to help their fan base? Because I know their fan base got to be getting tired of okay, you come up with a new system. People didn't ask for the new system. You're throwing the new system in there. We know the reason why they throw a new system in there, just for the VR and all that stuff. Okay, and now you got supposedly called 40 million PS4 owners that got the PS4. But what do you think? You think that the PS4 fans are gonna go for this shit, or do you think they're just gonna stay where they at and just say the hell with Sony? And besides the Sony ponies, as I call them, and like, yeah, I'm talking about y'all Sony ponies ass too. And then y'all still talk about greatness awaits. So is this what Sony is talking about? Greatness awaits. I want
Okay,
your input on that.
okay. So okay, this is like going to be a two-part answer. First, the first thing I can tell you about this is, so far, look at how Sony has treated their fan base with the console, and to them, it's just been great. They don't care. They're fine. They're happy. I just think Sony fans are just so stubborn because they had with the PS3 for such a long time that they just wanted to win this generation. They just wanted to have the bragging rights of saying, "We fucking killed Microsoft. We destroyed them. We destroyed Nintendo." You see what I'm saying? So they are just happy that, okay, well, we have we have sales. We have a couple of AAAs, even though they may not be the greatest, but they're good enough for us. We have all these Japanese niche titles. We have all these remasters and repurposed games. Their fans are just compliant right now because at the end of the day, the PS4 is a better console compared to the PS3. So I believe that's why they don't really, complain about it. Now, as far as them getting tired, if it continue doing this type of behavior, the hardcore ones, no, I doubt it. Maybe some of the newcomers or the ones that maybe transferred over and migrated from Xbox 360 or to the PS4, or maybe even Xbox One to PS4. When they see that Microsoft's still bringing out new titles like Phantom Dust, or Recore, or Scalebound, and they're just telling you, well, we're making these games, but you gotta wait. You gotta wait until 2018, or you gotta wait until 2017. I'm pretty sure they're gonna show off some good titles in E3, at least three, in that Neo mode that is not for the VR headset. If I had to take a guess, the obvious, elephant in the room would be, God of War. They will show a new God of War. I don't have no doubt in my mind. It could be a teaser of what the graphic engine is supposed to look like, maybe a little some gameplay. I don't know, but definitely they'll show God of War. They probably did some type of deal with Activision, I believe it is, that they own for Crash Bandicoot, kind of like what Microsoft did with Tomb Raider, and they'll probably have a 1-year deal and bring a new Crash Bandicoot to be exclusive to the PS4 for at least a year because the IP is owned, I believe, by Activision, not them anymore. And then later come on to to the NX and possibly even Xbox One. Or maybe make a deal where it only comes out to NX and PS4, but not the Xbox One. Some type of deal like that. If I had to take a guess, and maybe they'll show Shenmue, which I believe Shenmue is going to be the same case. I think it's going to be console debut where it'll be there for like 6-8 months, maybe longer. They'll see how the sales go, and then when Yu Suzuki realizes, damn, then I'm not really getting a lot of support here for Shenmue, they'll transition and be like, well, let's bring it out for Xbox and NX as well, because Yu Suzuki is very, very old fashioned, and like I said, Japanese stick with Japs. So I don't know how much, especially based on the fact that that it was odd to me that for the long time, everybody knows that most of Sega fans from Sega games always been on like Sega Dreamcast and on Xbox OG was a lot of Sega fans. They Sony fans never really were like big Sega fans. From my own experience with people I know that play on Sony consoles. They had the Yakuza series, which is basically a spiritual successor to Shenmue, but the original Shenmue, really, started obviously on Dreamcast and then transitioned over to the OG Xbox.
Right.
But that's a whole nother story in itself. I believe those are probably the three biggest they'll show. Maybe they'll have another surprise, like I don't know. Maybe they'll have they'll probably show a teaser for the new Kojima game that he's trying to do for sure. They'll show a teaser for that. Maybe that'll be their new IP. They'll probably show Horizon Zero Dawn in Neo mode, showing off better, frame rates, probably more details, maybe real-time weather effects, things like that. Uh, which, to be honest, that's the only real game right now that has my interest really high in purchasing a PS4. Is that Horizon Zero Dawn, because I love the whole atmosphere of it, and it looks awesome. But
Yeah.
because Guerrilla Games has not a great track record of having really good games. Their games usually look good, but don't really stand the duration of the time you play the game. They're not as good. By the time you get to the end of the game, they're kind of like, they're not really good games. It has me a little worried, but because it's a different game, it's not first-person shooter, maybe they can pull it off. You never know. Everybody has his day. Every developer, every company, every movie star. They become from not well known to big. So this might be the game for them. And I hope it is, because it looks cool. And it'll give me a reason to buy it.
Right.
To be honest with you, because the difference between us Xbox fans and the PS4 fans is Xbox fans, we're gamers. We're gamers. If we see a game that's good on another console or platform, because I have the Wii U as well, we'll buy that console and we'll buy their games.
Now, you know what I'm saying? You're right about that. We Xbox fans, Xbox gamers, man. We crazy maniacs out there, man.
Yeah, we'll buy the games. We'll buy it. Right, if we feel it's worth our dollar, we'll buy it. Sony fans, for the most part, maybe really the hardcore fanatic one, dude, you can't catch them a day of their life. They'd rather choose death before they buy an Xbox console. They just will not buy it. They will not. It's almost like their pride won't let them buy it, which is stupid, because this is gaming. This is all for fun. It's not supposed to be so serious. So yeah, at the end of the day, like I said, so the second part to the question is, I guess you're trying to ask me, what am I looking forward to for Sony for E3? I just said it. I'm looking forward for them to show God of War. I hope they bring back Crash, because Crash was we need more platformers. We really do. But I hope it stays like exclusive for them for like a timed exclusive, and then I can, come to Xbox so everybody has a chance to play it. Shenmue, I hope they show in playable form. I hope they show something from the new Kojima game, because I'm excited to see what direction he's going to take for his next game, and not just, in the style of Metal Gear. I know they're going to push VR. I'm not interested in VR, even if they have a cool looking game, which the one from Crytek looks really nice, where it's in the dinosaur era. It looks really nice. But, that's pretty much it. I don't, I probably have a nice amount of indies also as well, but that's pretty much it. And I'll give you my thoughts about Nintendo and Xbox also, but what do you want to see from Sony in E3 this year?
Well, I think the main thing I really want to see from Sony, really tell the truth. I'm not going to sit on and lie to you. I'm not a Sony fan. I used to be a Sony fan back in the day, but ever since I've been converted to an Xbox guy, I've been with Xbox ever since. So right now, it's very hard for me. I mean, I would love to see God of War. I mean, I love the hell out of God of War. God of War was one of those games that you could put in and just have fun and see all the nudity and all that stuff, and just have fun with the game. And that game was fun with all that stuff on it. But
which one exactly? I didn't hear you. Which game you talking about?
The God of War.
Oh yeah, okay. You like God of War? Okay.
God of War. Oh man, it was a good game. I mean, the first one, I love the hell out of the first one. I played the second one too. But the third one, I just want to see where they're gonna go with it, because I want to see what they're gonna bring Kratos fighting now. How they're gonna really?
Well, they said he's supposed to fight in the Viking lore, I believe, or something like that, with the gods in the Viking era, or something like that.
If they do that, Hebot, for the first time you're gonna say, for the first time I'm saying this to you, I might go and buy a PS4 if they come out with more exclusive.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Obviously, it's a good game. It's one of those games that sells consoles. You know what I mean? It's like
It's a
Halo.
classic. It's a classic game.
It's
Classic.
it sells consoles. Yeah, it's classic. It sells consoles. You
But I
know,
want to ask you
remember?
this. I want to ask you one
Yeah,
question.
yeah, sure.
Did you go and see that new beautiful Xbox One they announced in France?
Oh, you mean the one from Tony Stark, the Civil War edition?
Yes.
That's all white. Oh, it's
Yeah.
gorgeous. Yeah, it is.
Oh man,
You
gorgeous
see,
with the armband symbol in the middle of it. Now that's gorgeous.
yeah. You see, everybody I know gets mad and be like, "Well, why Xbox don't bring out these custom consoles more often?" And here's the thing: I think it's because since they have had such problems from the beginning with sales, it's a big risk for them to make a custom console for any game that they may have like type of marketing rights, like Witcher. The Witcher, they had a
Right.
really beautiful console.
Right.
But I think that they felt that if Witcher didn't do well, because remember, Witcher 2 and Witcher 1 was on PC and then on Xbox 360. And those games were good. People bought them, but Sony guys didn't care about those games. You know what I'm saying? So it's a
No, they
big
didn't.
risk, you know. And so if they would have brought the console and it would have stayed on store shelves and didn't really sell, then that would have been probably bad for inventory with them. For what I heard, what I understand is that's one of the reasons why they're supposedly. You remember they made a Titanfall custom console that they only gave out to the developers. The word on the street is or was that the reason why that didn't come out to the public was because when they were trying to sell it in bulks to Walmart and stores like Toys R Us and even maybe not GameStop, but like Target and stuff. Since they already still have too many of the Connect console Xbox Ones sitting on the shelves, not really moving. Because remember that was
Right.
right in the beginning. That was like 6 months from the release of the Xbox One. Since it wasn't really
Right.
selling as well, they didn't want to pick up more inventory. They were afraid to, so they canceled it and they didn't bring it out. That's what the word on the street is, and I think that's been the mentality the whole time. So when you see a custom console, it's something that they feel and know it's going to be 100% profit for them. So that's why you saw, like the Call of Duty, obviously, Advanced Warfare. That's a given. That console did very well. I have one. I believe Iron Wolf has one. Shout out to Iron Wolf.
The
I believe
Halo.
yeah, no, the Call of Duty one, the Advanced Warfare. I believe
Yeah.
Blazing Phoenix had one. Shout out to him too. I believe he had one. It's a beautiful console. Uh, 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 and I also believe that's why they chose Forza. That's why they chose Halo, and obviously, they chose to go with Sunset with just the plain white, which is a beautiful console as well. And they did it. They used it for Quantum. They used it for Tomb Raider, and they also used it for the Ultimate Gears of War edition when it came out exclusively to Walmart.
Right. Right. And and the thing
But
about
I
it
think
is,
that's why they have.
and the thing about it is they bringing out they bringing out these color box consoles when they need to. I mean, right now it's going to be summertime. The movie's about to come out. The movie's going to help push the console out even more. Because because it's a beautiful box. I mean, if it don't sell, shame
It
on
looks.
people. Shame on
It looks.
people.
Yeah, I know, gorgeous, but I don't think they'll buy it. People won't buy just because they know it's an Xbox One. You see what I'm saying? Collectors would buy it, but if they
Yeah,
bring it out like in mass production, I don't think it's a guaranteed sell. You see what I'm saying? Unless there was an actual movie tie-in game for Civil War that had a marketing deal with Microsoft, then that would be different. But right now, they're not even doing a game based off Civil War. So look, Tuck, I have to go soon. So let's get into the other two the other two companies left. So for Nintendo, okay, you tell me, what do you want to see from Nintendo after they in E3 or possibly after they show an X next year in March and things like
well,
that to get people hyped? What do you want from them?
I think the biggest thing I want from Nintendo, I want them to show more of. I understand that they got they stay with the kiddies and all that stuff, okay? But kids grow up. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
kids want to play what their mom and dads want to play after a while. So what I would like to see
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo do, and I would love, and I'm hoping that they do this, that they have more third-party support on this system, on any other system in their cycle. And I want them
Mm-hmm.
to bring a Blu-ray player. I always have said that that's what they need to do to turn around and keep up with the Sony and the Xbox One. They just need to do the little stuff, and maybe there might be something that's reaching out for them
Mm-hmm.
to do. But I would love to see them really go by and just do things for to have more third party support. But I like Nintendo. Nintendo, I never have been against Nintendo. Nintendo, I love
Right. Well,
Nintendo when they
they
brought out the NES and all that stuff. I love them. But to
right.
me,
They make wonderful games. They make wonderful games.
they need to bring more of a selection like EA, Call of Duty, Activision, and just stop with this kiddie nonsense. I mean, stay with your kids and everything, but bring your console to adult mode. More like what I'm trying to say. Other than
Right.
that,
Well,
and I want to see how they're gonna do with the internet thing. I want to see how they're gonna converse with the internet. Are they gonna make it more like um, Sony Pony's sorry network, or are they gonna do their own thing? Because I'm sorry, that's a
Mars.
sorry network as far as I'm
Low
concerned.
blow, low blow, low blow, low.
Now, as far as
Okay.
like Xbox One is concerned, I
Well,
know I
before you
hope
go,
they bring.
before you, hey, Tuck, before you talk about Xbox, let me give you my thoughts on Nintendo. Let's do it like that.
Okay,
I think it'll be better. As for me, with Nintendo, I definitely hear where you're coming from. They definitely need to make a online infrastructure, or an ecosystem that's on par with both Microsoft, obviously, and Sony.
right.
If not better, if they could add their own flavor and flair to it, because it's important. Obviously, I hope they get third party support. What I don't want to see from them, though, is I don't want them to port over, because I heard the ramblings are that they're porting over a lot of the Wii U games, but with better versions of them to the new console,
I
which is
don't do that.
what they did with the Wii to the Wii U. I hope they don't do that. I really don't. I hope what they do is that they actually invest and make brand new versions of these games. I want to see, a new Metroid. I would love to
Yep,
see. I would love to see a new Kid Icarus. I would love to see,
the new
a new F
Mario.
Zero if possible, an F-Zero if possible.
Yeah,
Now what I think would be nice if they could do. They don't have to necessarily stop catering to the kids and family, but what they could do is, if they're gonna make, let's say, a Metroid, make a Metroid that make a version of Metroid that's for everybody, and then maybe 2 years down the line when they make another version or a sequel or another game in the universe, make it more adult like, so that adults and family and kids can both enjoy the games. Because you're right, Super Mario Brothers is fun, but you kind of grow out of that after a while. You also want to get adult like experiences like Halo or Quantum Break or Uncharted or God of War. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It is what it is. As adults, for us, we enjoy these games, but we also like the adult flair and feel type games like the ones I just mentioned. So
Right.
that's what I want to see from them.
And it's
I
like
want
you
them to
said,
see
we don't mind the kiddie games and everything. We
right.
don't mind. I mean, but I would like to see them bring another adult Mario theme. I mean,
That would be
make it more
interesting. Yeah,
lively. Make it more
that would
lively.
be
Don't make it more
interesting
cartoon.
with a
Just make
little
it
bit
more
more,
lively.
with a more adult theme. That would be interesting. It
Right.
would be. It would be. I mean, it's different. I can't even see it and picture it in my head, but it would be interesting. I think it would be cool. Uh,
Oh man.
if they at least tried it, that'd be cool.
Because
I want them to have like a traditional controller, more
right.
traditional, even if it has the features of a handheld,
Yeah.
but make it traditional where it feels like a controller when you're holding it on your
Right.
hand, not as big and awkward or bulky. Kind of like their Pro controller, but
Now
obviously
let me
more
uh,
futuristic.
now let me ask you this, Ebot. Okay. Now what do all do Nintendo own? Do they own the Mario? Do they own Mario Brothers and all of them too?
Yeah. That's my Nintendo owns. That's a
Oh
Mario
man,
Brothers, Kirby, Pokemon, Kid Icarus,
how
Metroid,
about Donkey Kong?
Princess Peach, Donkey Kong. All that stuff is their IPs, is their characters. They
Man,
own.
and don't you dare tell me that people would not have. People would love to see a new Donkey Kong. People, oh
Well, the
man,
Donkey Kong on the the Donkey Kong on the Wii U is very, very good. The one on the Wii was very good. But I
man,
guess what you're trying to say, like make a Donkey Kong that looks more photorealistic, maybe like more adult like.
right?
Yeah, that would be cool. I can see that
Because
with the same flair and personality of the Donkey Kong universe. I
right
can see that.
because those are those games that I grew up with. Those are games that I grew up with back in the '80s.
Right.
Because Donkey Kong was one of my favorite games. Like Donkey Kong Junior, I mean
Donkey Kong
Senior,
Country. Yeah.
yeah. I mean those games right there was like ballistic. I mean they was real good.
I know it would sound crazy, but it'd be funny if you see him bashing up other villains, and you see
Woo!
blood coming out because he's beating him up or something. That'd be cool.
Dude, if they can make that, if they can make that game anything like what's that one that EA got? Plants vs Zombies.
Right.
Shoot, they can do like
I know
that.
what you're going.
That would be neat. That would be neat as
Right, with
hell.
that it still has that kind of like childish flair to it, but it also feels for like it's for adults, like
Right,
that humor,
right.
adult humor. Yeah. I think it would work well.
Now, what's your
But,
thoughts on?
but
What's your thoughts on?
Nintendo's very old fashioned though. Nintendo's very old fashioned. I don't know if they'll take that type of risk, but I would definitely like to see them do that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so okay. So you were going to say something else or no?
Now about the Xbox.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to ask you. So about Microsoft and Xbox, basically, besides what we already touched based on about the console and possibly bringing in a slim with upgradable capabilities and things of that nature. Besides that stuff, what do
Just
you want to see from Microsoft as far as games, maybe
as
new
far
features? You know what I'm saying?
as far as games are concerned and everything, I just want to see them bring out new IPs. Just bring out more new IPs. Right now, I know how Microsoft, operates. They want to make sure that the game sells good. I know Quantum Break will sell real good, and I know it sold real good and all that stuff. But I want to see them bring back another Alan Wake. I would love that. That is one game that I love. But I also would like to see Microsoft bring out, believe it or not, a baseball game. I would love to see them bring out a baseball game on
Right,
the Xbox One because we
right,
don't have one.
right.
I don't know if they're gonna do it or not because
Well, I'll tell you my thoughts on that when I talk. Okay, go ahead.
I know baseball really don't sell.
Well, it has a market, but it's very small. Go
Very
ahead. Go ahead.
small.
So, any other thoughts? Anything else?
I'd like to see Microsoft just bring out more IPs. I mean, besides the IPs that they bringing out this year and next year, I would love to see them talk about. Oh man, what game would I like to see them bring out? There's so many games that's on my mind. I like to see them bring
Like
out. It's
any old school IPs that you liked back then from OG maybe or 360 that you would like to see them bring back?
man, I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now, if they can't bring out a new baseball game, I like to see them bring out the OG Xbox baseball, the OG Xbox, because those are good classic games. I mean, I'm very sure. I don't know if they can do it or not, but if they can't, they can't. If they do it, they do it. If they can't, they can't. But as far as that is concerned, that's really basically what I want to see. A lot of new IPs. I mean, I know they're doing a lot of new stuff, a lot of new innovative stuff to the Xbox One every month. I mean, Xbox One got that locked down. That's something that that's something that Sony is trying to do to their little piss ant system, as I call it, and I do call it piss ant. I don't think it. Everybody want to talk about it. I'll play this. Everybody
Behave,
want to talk about
behave,
all
talk.
this power that the PS4 got. They talk about all the power that the PS4 got, but why isn't there one game that they got on their system? Even the exclusive that they got out is 1080p, 60 frames per second. Tell me why.
Well, the
Tell me
baseball,
why.
their baseball is that, but all sports games are 1080p 60 frames.
Uh,
I don't know. I just think,
is there a baseball
like I
game?
said, I just
Is there a baseball game that
yeah,
way?
yeah, it's 1080p 60 frames, but again, it's sports.
The
It's all
sport.
sports. All the sports games are 1080p 60 frames on all
Yeah,
consoles. On all consoles, the wrestling, the basketball, the football, every sports game, even soccer. It's just the way it is.
right,
Um, I guess because they're easier to translate because it's all in one area, and the differences and the real graphical attention that you see is basically goes to the animations, the look of the field, the detail of the crowd, the detail of the baseball players and things like that of the athletes. I think that's why it's a
right.
little easier to accomplish. Um,
Okay.
so okay, so as far as me as what I want to see with Microsoft for E3, I definitely would like to see them bring a custom console for Gears of War 4. I would definitely
Ooh,
like to see that.
I didn't forget to
Um,
talk to you about that. Darn.
because I know a lot of people that like Gears of War are going to gravitate to a Gears of War themed console,
Yeah, you
and
ain't never lying.
I'm pretty sure if they do have a slim or a new, maybe updated console, um, that is going to be Gears. That version will be the version they do as far as the Gears of War theme, because they're saying they have two SKUs, and I believe it's a regular one and a Gears of War one. That's what I believe it is, even though people are saying or not that they think it's for the next console, coming out in a couple more years. I think it's too early. I just think that that's for a Gears custom and maybe perhaps the Slim. I could be wrong. I'm just giving you my speculations and thoughts. Um, I'm very excited to see more gameplay in more fluid form for Scalebound, because that's going to be four-player co-op in an RPG esque style action game, which has never been done before. I believe it's going to be really good. It's Platinum Games. Hideki Kamiya makes some incredible games. They always have. They're very underrated, and I hope this game puts them on the map, kind of like Quantum Break has done for Remedy. Even though Max Payne started it, but it's kind of giving them that resurgence that they needed, that people didn't give them with Alan Wake. As far as games, now that I say Alan Wake, I want to see an Alan Wake 2. I want to see a trailer. I want to see a teaser or something, just to
Just, just to get your juices
just
flowing,
the
huh?
just the clarification that it's coming. I
Right.
want an Alan Wake 2. I hope Microsoft can make a deal where they can buy that IP from them, because that's the only IP they didn't buy from them. To keep it exclusive, because I believe Alan Wake feels at home on Xbox console. Um, I definitely want to see them bring either a new Conquer, a new Banjo, or a new Battletoads, or bring a Conquer and a Battletoads, because they're two different types of games. One's a platformer, actually, obviously an action platformer, and Battletoads would be more of a beat 'em up. So if they do a really high quality beat 'em up style game, either on the marketplace or even retail, kind of like the Transformers game or the Ninja Turtle one that was made by Platinum Games, or or in the arcade marketplace like Ori, and then make a brand new 3D Conquer or a brand new 3D Banjo. I think it would be great. It'd be awesome if they could make a new Blink to Voodoo Vince, but I believe they don't own those properties anymore. They didn't trademark them again. Um,
Right.
I would love to see the gameplay, because I know they're probably going to do what they did with Sunset Overdrive. They're going to show Record gameplay finally, and I believe that because there's not too many multiplats this winter, they have a good window to put Record either in the middle of August or right in the beginning in September or November. Uh, like before Call of Duty and before Black Friday, so that they can have a nice little window. I think Recore is going to be phenomenal. It's from the guy and the creator of Mega Man and the guys who did Metroid Prime for the Wii. Um, so I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see Crackdown 3, obviously, and how the cloud is going to improve and benefit the game within the worlds and the environments with 100 people playing at once, because I believe it's 99 players at once.
Wow.
Um, I hope it has a story mode that they announced that it will have a story mode, that it's not just multiplayer. I also hope that we'll see Sea of Thieves, even if it doesn't come out this year, and maybe it comes out next year. Same thing for Recore. If it don't come out this year, it comes out early next year with Scalebound or right after Scalebound, whatever the case may be. I hope that they show Sea of Thieves. Halo Wars 2 will be a success because the people who enjoyed the first one will buy the second one, I'm pretty sure. And Gears of War 4, I hope, is going to drop everybody's jaw, because I'm pretty sure, it's going to be phenomenal. The screenshots look amazing. The game looks amazing so far. A lot of people love the multiplayer. A lot of people hate the multiplayer, but it's a beta, so I know it's early testing. I'm pretty sure
Right,
they're going to improve
right,
on all
right,
that.
right.
I really hope they bring good new features like being able to put screenshots directly to Facebook, being able to stream to YouTube, which is on PS4 already, being able to, have some type of family sharing, more in depth. Maybe even maybe have like they were like the rumors that have Xbox Live be free. That'd be nice. That'd be really nice. And as far as the baseball game that you mentioned, if there's some way they could do a good deal with 2K Sports, since 2K hasn't made a baseball, and since Sony has MLB The Show with the in-house company, if they can do a deal somehow with 2K to make a brand new 2K Sports baseball for next year, to bring it to the Xbox One, I think that would be really nice. I think they need it because a lot of people that like baseball have bought PS4s because of the baseball. Maybe that's just maybe 1 million or 2 million people. Maybe it's not a lot. But if those 2 million or 1 million people see a baseball on the Xbox One and it's a good one, they'll also probably decide, well, let me buy an Xbox One also, because I would like to play their baseball game.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
it's from 2K,
Yeah, I agree.
So it'll help with some sales and get some software sold out there.
I
And
mean,
then,
even on that 2K had the baseball in the 360 era,
mhm.
I think it would be nice. I mean, they had the baseball rights, for to make baseball for the Xbox and for the PS4. But the thing about it is when Major League, when the show came out, it just blew everything out the water. I would love to see
Right.
2K just go out there and make another one, or either EA. I mean, EA used to make a baseball game, but I'm not really sure the reason why they
Well,
had
that's
one.
why I say 2K, because 2K right now is heavily invested on the wrestling
Yeah,
and on the basketball. So if
right.
they make a baseball, that'd be cool, because that'll give them some flexibility. Like 2K, like EA makes the football, EA makes the soccer, EA makes what you call it, a basketball also. So let them make a baseball game. That'd be kind of nice. I don't think it'll be. I think it'll be easier for Microsoft to make a deal for baseball for Microsoft. No. Instead of instead of instead of making the deal with EA.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know what I'm
But I
saying?
tell you right now, man, I know you're very busy now and all that stuff, but do you have anything else to say
Well,
to all the great ex-bodians out there?
well, I'm looking forward to E3. I hope that we can get together with Mr. 100 with the guys and do another E3 show to watch it together live and give our thoughts and afterthoughts. I think it was a lot of fun when we did it last year. I hope we get to do it this year. I hope everybody in the community gets to have a good time and do it. Uh, because a lot of us can't afford to go, and so I think it just brings us closer together as a community, and a great time of celebration with the new consoles, new hardwares, new software, new everything. E3 is always
Right.
exciting. It's always exciting. It's always
That's
exciting.
true.
I hope that, like I said, I hope that so then, to end my thoughts as far as Microsoft for E3, I hope that they're very methodical with their decisions, but and careful, and think about just the games. Don't lose that focus, because I think even though they may not have the best quote unquote hardware wise console, but they have games, and the games look good and play good and are appealing. I think that'll be good for more sales in the future. Game people will realize, well, damn, I have all this power on this side, but I don't have games. On that side, they have games. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
And
Right.
that's why
Right.
I think it's a pivotal, important decision if they make sure that they bring down the Xbox either the 250 standard or even 199. To be honest with you, because the PS4 will probably go down in price to 199 if they have a new version of the console, and if that's true, it'll probably go
Well,
down to 250 or 199, the regular PS4. So
I
they
know
need
the
to
Xbox
compete.
One and already went down to 299.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, listen, Tuck, they have about another year and a half before they could actually bring out a new console. That's the next generation. So take the loss in the hardware. The software should make up for it, because they already know, it's a proven fact through Xbox Live and games, that they sell. The community sells and buys. I mean, supports them and buys the games. They don't show them in the MPDs, obviously, but they, maybe in the future they will, and it'll be a different picture. Everything will tally up differently as far as sales goes with the software. Once they see how much the people buy digitally on PS4 and Xbox, to be honest, both sides. But I think more people buy on Xbox because it's a lot more convenient. It's a lot easier. It's the way of the future. A lot of people like it. It's the direction it's going. It is what it is. Um, so I want them. I just want them. I want them to come strong, be humble, but be smart. Don't don't make a move just because Sony's doing it or Nintendo's doing it and put yourself in a hole. I think this could be work in their favor, or it could work against them. You see what I'm saying? It
Well,
opens doors for a lot of opportunities in different directions. It's just making that right decision. You know what I mean? So I hope they stay focused on just doing them and fuck everybody else. Forget what everybody
yeah,
was doing. You know what I mean?
yeah, but I
Uh,
think by Nintendo not coming out with their console this year, that actually helps Microsoft in a way.
right. Well,
Um,
it's like EA and Bethesda. They're gonna have their own shows
right,
a day before, their own keynotes.
right,
The reason why they're doing that, I believe, is because you know how when you see Microsoft's keynote and Sony's keynote, usually when you see them, they'll show uh, uh, a game coming out from EA on stage, and then when they do their keynote after Sony and Xbox, they show it again. So people were like, "Oh, I already saw this. Kind of boring." I think they want to do what Bethesda did last year, that they showed Doom and Fallout 4 before they showed it on the stage of Microsoft or Sony, so that way people wouldn't be bored
right,
with the set
right.
with that segment, with that segment of their games. So when they showed it on Microsoft section and on the PlayStation side, it was short and sweet, and they could move on because Sony and Microsoft obviously had more material and other software to show. And I think that's why they're doing it. I don't think it's because they're trying to get away from the E3 scene. I just think they want to show and have their keynote before Microsoft and Sony so that it won't get bored. People won't be bored by showing the same thing on Xbox stage and on Sony stage all over again after they already showed it on their stage. You know what I'm saying?
That
So I
way they
think
can
that's
have
why
their
I
own they
think
can
that's
have
why
their own stage and be done with it. That's
right,
understandable.
because it's their game, and I think that's why they're doing this. And it makes sense. I think it makes sense. You know. So that's pretty much it. It's exciting, man. It's exciting times. Maybe it'll be lackluster. Who knows? Maybe it'll be fantastic. It's a give or take with video games and the video game hobby and the video game world. It's a risk. We sometimes we're disappointed. Sometimes we're surprised. Just you never know. But with that being said, I guess we can close up and get ready to close shop. Um, you know, you have any final thoughts of E3 or anything else?
Now I really don't have no thoughts. I mean, we kind of clean it up, but I think what we need to do, I think we need to
Mhm.
do this every week or every 2 weeks between me and you.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
we could
you know,
definitely try to do this in the future. My problem is just scheduling and with the
right,
kids and stuff. But I could definitely make an effort to try to bring it some type
right,
of show with me and you, and maybe bring in E Rock or J Long if you want. People that are like us that are going to be civil and respectful and talk in a level where we're not trying to hate or be biased. We're just trying to talk games. You know what I mean? I mean, I know
right.
you throw your jokes in there, and I know you throw your jokes in there and say Sony sucks. I know it's all in good fun. Even if you feel that you don't like the console, but everybody to each his own. It's gaming, and that's the most important part. We need to concentrate more on the games and not the stupid console war. Leave that shit for the media. They're doing a good job themselves being assholes, but we could definitely clear it up for the
Hey,
people.
but you
For the
know what?
people,
But I'm gonna be on a serious note on that. I wasn't joking about Sony.
Oh, I know.
But
I know.
everybody, I hope that y'all have really enjoyed the show today. The Hebot and DGX Tuckmaster Tuckmaster connection. That's what I'm calling this show. We are the connection of the Xbox. So
Xbox connection.
the Hebot and DGX Tuckmaster Xbox connection. So as of right now, y'all, we getting ready to get out of here. He got things to do. I got things to do. I hope y'all turn around and leave comments in the comment section below, or just do us right. I know he about going to put it on his on his broadcast, but on his thing. So I'm gonna put it on my thing. So, but right now, everybody just sit back and enjoy the E3 show that's coming up in June, and we will give
Yeah.
another analysis later on. Now, my brother Hebot, do you have anything to
Absolutely.
say?
Yeah. Well, talk. Thank you for letting me join you here today in the cast. Thank you for letting me lead the way with kind of running or leading the topics, because I know you preferred it that way, and I'm honored. I'm honored. It's always fun to talk to you. Um, Basically, just everybody go support and subscribe. Tuckmaster. He's at DGX Tuckmaster on YouTube. And for me, if you're interested in checking out my channel is Hebot, just like that, spelled with a hyphen, capital H, capital B, lowercase, everything else. It's HE-BOT. You'll know it's me because you'll see the He-Man on the Xbox logo. Please, come over, check me out. If you like the channel, you're more than welcome to subscribe. And if you subscribe, remember, it means a lot to me because you become part of the family, because I know you don't have to. And you know, I hope you enjoyed today's little segment. I hope, Tuck, we can do this again more frequently in the future. Me and you, or with other fellow members. And I hope you have fun. I know I did. And I apologize that we have to go. I just, we got lives, we got things to do, as we said. But thanks again, Tuck. Whenever you're ready to roll, you can close out. Thank you again for joining us. I hope you guys liked it. And Tuck, thank you for doing me the honor and having me on your show.
Well, I play this. This is not my show. This is our show.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
It's not. It's not a my. It's our. I believe
Okay.
in. I believe in everything being like a family.
Thank
That's
you,
one thing
Tuck.
I love about the
Absolutely.
Xbox family. We are always strong with each other. So
Right, right. We
I
treat
want
each
to
other
get
like
out. I
family. Yeah.
want to give my shout outs to Master Chief, Arm Wolf, Ghost Rider,
Yes.
um,
So,
everybody in Big Gamer Small Talk. You
yes,
know,
Sega Forever,
yeah,
E
yeah,
Rock, His
um,
Move, J
yeah.
Long,
J Long,
Sir
Mr.
Merkham,
100.
Mr. Inferno, Mr. 100, Cyclonus, Miss De Leon. Sure enough, everybody in the community. There's too many.
Oh, and I can't forget the Big Kahuna.
The big Kahuna, absolutely. We got Next Gen, Crap Gamer, Mooch, KGB, Tip Podcast,
Yeah,
BTK Blam. There's a
yeah.
lot of them. There's a lot of wonderful people out there doing their thing. So shout out to all of them, the Xbox community and gaming community in general.
Okay, and then everybody, I'll talk to you later, and y'all have a nice day. And Hebot, I will talk to you on my phone later on today so I can see how everything went.
Yeah, thank you, brother. I enjoyed myself. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you
Okay.
soon.
Okay, and I'll talk to you later. Y'all
Peace.
talk to y'all later.
Keep it gaming. Keep it gaming.
Yes, sir.